just don't know whether the audio is working. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. All right, Andrew, I did do an audio test
like to call this meeting to order. Can you hear me in the back? Okay. The mission of the Freehold Township School District is to honor and support every learner every day on the journey to become curious and engaged members of a diverse global community. A notice listing the time, date, and place of this meeting was posted on the public bulletin board of all Freehold Township schools, on the entrance door to the administrative offices of the Board of Education, on the district website, at the office of the Freehold Township Clerk, published in the Asbury Park Press on January 7th, 2022, and sent to the news transcripts on January 5th, 2022. I'd like to invite you to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call.
Mrs. Costanza? Here. Mrs. Cozzolino?
Here.
Mr. Gargiulo?
Here.
Mrs. O'Sullivan? Mrs. Patton?
Present.
Mrs. Thoman?
Here.
Mrs. Vendatoli?
Here.
Mr. Amoroso?
Here.
Mrs. Lambert?
Here.
We have a quorum.
I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of April 12th, 2022.
So moved.
Second? Yep. All in favor, say aye. One abstention. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from the executive session meeting of April 12th, 2022.
So moved.
All in, second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I abstain. I'll keep President's remarks short this evening. We're here for a budget presentation. I just want to welcome everybody back after spring break. Hopefully the students are settling in for the last, really, less than 2 months, really, at this point, right? Less than 2 months to get to the end of the school year. It's certainly been a journey, but I think it's been a really good one, and I'm really proud of the staff, the students, getting us to the end of the year. It hasn't been without its bumps here and there, but it's getting there. Public service announcement, reminding for any parents, anybody watching on YouTube, to keep track of your child's symptoms, should there be any, and yours as well. Cold symptoms, COVID is still out there, still affecting many people. We would like to get these kids to the end of the school year as happy and healthy as possible. So with that, Dr. Brethauer, do you have anything to add?
Just thank you, Ms. Lambert.
For my public service announcement?
From public service announcement.
Yeah.
We excitedly welcomed our students back yesterday and began our third marking period, 39 days until the summer. Not that the students are counting. Report cards posted today. So if you're a parent out there and you didn't know this, you might want to log into Genesis and take a look. Those report cards went live today. And today, Ms. Montgomery and Mr. Dickstein and I had the pleasure of being at Applegate to participate in the Pie in the Face fundraiser for our Place to Play, as you know, is our multi-abilities playgrounds. So all children can participate, and we're looking to expand to get some new equipment. So we had a nice whipped cream pie in the face, sour milk smell, which we quickly went home and showered, and here we are. So, while our dogs and cats were happy that we smelled that way, we were not. But a shout out to Mary Weiss and to Brad Milway and the entire Applegate staff, Suzanne Caracappa. Anyone I'm missing? I think I got Mary Weiss.
Yeah.
It was a full school assembly outdoors. The weather held out, and it was really cute. The kids were able to win the opportunity to throw pies, whipped cream pies at us, and they get so pumped and they cheer, pie, pie, pie. So something like really might seem so small was just so powerful and positive, and to share what Michelle is saying, we're really excited to have a positive spring end of our year, and look forward to next year. And that's it. And I believe Miss Williams, where'd she go? There she
She's
is.
there. Before we get to that, I just want to congratulate
Mhm.
Juliana Denma. She's an eighth grader.
I think she's
Eighth grade at Barcalow School. She was selected by
Monmouth County.
By the state to be the Monmouth County student for volunteerism.
Mhm.
And she will be recognized at the State Board of Education meeting. It will be a virtual meeting, so when we find out that information, we'll get it all out there. We just got the preliminary information. But a shout out to Juliana, great job, and we are really proud. So congratulations.
And Juliana, her giving gowns, she started her own
Oh yeah, she was featured in
organization.
the Asbury
She was
Park Press.
featured in the Asbury Park
I
Press.
assumed she started her own organization.
Yeah, so we're very proud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miss Williams.
Yes. All right. So I'll get out of your way.
We have to move.
Mm-hmm.
This is a brief budget presentation compared to the other budget presentations that have been given. I think so. I first want to thank all the administrators for working with Bob to prepare this budget. Hopefully everyone can hear me.
Allie,
What? Is it on? What? This mic?
But then you have to hold it, I think.
Try again.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
better
I just
now?
maybe need to talk louder.
Okay.
And if that's on. All right. So we have proposed to take the maximum 2% increase to the general fund tax levy, which is represented in the first row there. The debt service tax levy is from past referendums that were approved by the voters. Then from that, we subtract the Verizon tax, which is state aid provided to the township on our behalf. The estimated assessed value for the township is projected to increase 9.4%, which will lead to a significant tax decrease of 7.1 cents or 6.7%. The average homeowner would see a $303 tax decrease from our portion of the tax rate. If the assessed value was flat for the year, the tax rate would have increased 2% or $91 for the average homeowner. The final assessed value of the township will not be known until after our budgets are due to the state. The general fund budget for the 22-23 school year is $80,181,196. As you can see, the majority of our budget is funded with taxes, up 2%. Our state aid increased $241,366 or 5%. We're almost fully funded as per our current enrollment, and the fund balance and all other revenue make up the remaining 5% of the budget. The other two funds you'll see in this budget resolution are the Special Services Fund, which is for federal grants, and the Debt Service Fund. We've already discussed the tax levy impact of the Debt Service Fund. As you can see on this chart, the large portion of our funding is spent on classroom instruction for both regular and special ed education at 40%. Next is 25%, which includes health benefits, FICA, pension, workers' compensation, and tuition reimbursement. Support staff includes nurses, guidance, CST, curriculum, one-to-one aides, media, and occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech therapists. Facilities and security make up 8.5%. This includes maintenance, custodians, energy, grounds, and security expenses. Administration, which includes the superintendent's office, human resources, the business office, technology and the front offices of the schools, the attorney, the auditor, liability insurance, and internet and phone services. And transportation is at 5.8%. These are just additional notes coming up for the 22-23 school year. There are state mandated curriculum revisions. The district will have a 4% increase in our health benefits costs. We have $300,000 in addition to pay for pension. We are purchasing 3 new buses and a new radio system for the buses, which is very necessary. We have additional funds for increased cybersecurity. We are reinstituting stipends for elementary schools that were part of the 2021 budget. There are funds used for uniform refresh, additional funds for transportation staff, fuel, and contracted routes, energy costs, and 1 additional full-time employee due to the increase in state aid. And that is the budget presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
She made sure to ask Mary not to ask.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. Should I do it now or the second part?
I figured at the end, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go put that there it now, so.
Okay. Okay.
Just have to remove the head thing for it.
Yep.
To do before Ellen.
That's fine.
One additional administrative report is the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. We've received 1 report since the last meeting, and one is confirmed. That's it.
All right. This is the first opportunity for public participation. As you know, this board allows for 2 opportunities. The first one is to address the board on any item that is on the agenda this evening. The second opportunity would be for any item affecting the district. So if anyone would like to address the board, please write your name and address on the sign-in sheet and state your name for the record. Statements are limited to 3 minutes and should not be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature. Okay. You want time?
Or get it.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah, it's still chilly.
yes.
Yeah, it's very noisy. When I used to sit in that seat, I couldn't hear. In Meg's seat, I couldn't, right, you can't hear anything. You just sort of sit there with the buzz behind you.
Hello, hello.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Good evening. So my question is on the general fund. The lady mentioned that the total expenditures of 80,181,196,000 was fully funded. So in that case, why are we taking the 2.5 or $2.6 million from the federal government? And what is that being used for? And are there any strings attached?
You want me
sorry.
to answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think when she said fully funded, she meant based on the state aid formula. The state aid formula is a formula that's based on your current enrollment. So for years, our enrollment was here and the state aid number we should have been entitled to never matched. We were always underfunded. Based on our current enrollment, the state aid that we are receiving matches what our current enrollment is, and that's what she meant by fully funded.
So that's a good thing. That's
Right. We are, in short, we are this year receiving the appropriate amount of state aid
okay. So it's
for the first time in forever, I feels like, yes. Okay.
So it sounds like the 2.6 million is not needed because everything is funded and the enrollment matches the state aid. Are you
No, It
covering,
doesn't really mean that. It just means that the state aid number we are receiving is the appropriate number. That's what she meant by funded.
okay, so is there a breakdown of how that 2.6 million will be used in the future?
Which 2.6?
Special revenues? 2.593.
IDEA money?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's all part of our budget. Yes, special education funds.
Oh, it's not the CARES money, it's
No,
special.
no.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now I see it at the button back. Okay. Would anyone else like to address the board? Okay, seeing no one at this time, we'll move to personnel. Ms. Tolman?
Yeah, the personnel committee did not meet this evening. We only have a couple of items to move. We have, Project Lead the Way training as listed.
Item 2 also.
Yeah.
Curriculum
Oh,
committee.
sorry.
Sorry, 2's on the other page, the way it prints.
I see,
Apologize.
sorry. Curriculum Writing Committee, and as listed. And Project Lead the Way training as listed. And unpaid leave as listed.
Yep.
Do a roll call.
I'll second it.
All in favor, we'll do a roll call.
Mrs. Costanza?
Yes.
Gagliano? Mr. Gargiulo?
Yes.
Mrs. Patton?
Yeah.
Mrs. Bowman?
Yes.
Ms. Antoli?
Yes.
Mr. Amoroso?
Yes.
Lambert?
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Next, we'll move on to curriculum and policy. Ms. Patton?
Thank you, Mrs. Lambert. I'd like to move the following items. Item 2, rescind course reimbursement. Item 3, course reimbursement. Item 4, home instruction as listed. And item 5, student teacher practicum observation placements.
Okay, anybody have any questions on any of this? No? Can we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Finance, facilities, and transportation. Alan is not here. Michael, or Deb, can, whichever you prefer.
I'll read number 12.
Okay. Michael, it is.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'd like to move the following items. Item number 2, bills and claims totaling $326,490.04, reviewed by none other than myself.
Oh, you
It
got
was a
lucky.
It was a light load.
Yes,
Right,
that's,
right.
I could do a kitchen with my left hand and the bills with my right.
that was a quick one.
Yeah. Item 3, travel and related expenses as listed. Item 4, the 2022 safety grant application is listed. Item 5, the CARES grant application is listed. Item 6, the resolution to adopt our final budget, as we've heard. Item 7, the competitive contract multiple software as listed. And item 8, a donation as listed.
I guess if anybody was questioning the CARES grant application, this is an amendment to a previous grant, reallocating the funds for student services, correct?
Yeah, instead of
Ins-
items.
Instead of other items. Okay, any other questions?
Contract for the multiple software. So we're putting that out to bid for,
We are. Currently,
Okay.
Frontline is used by our Ed Services Department and by our HR department, so the total amount of money that we spend is it's hit the point where we have to now bid it out.
Okay.
We are gonna bid it separately because each piece of software has different things that it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is like your human resources, right?
It's Frontline, so our Applitrack and ASOP, that's our end of it, and then in services uses,
Services uses it for IEPs, for 504s, and for intervention, intervention plans as well.
but together,
Programs ever end up with the IEPs.
The Pope
working
sticks
with
in
Genesis.
to make me cry.
Yeah, they do. Frontline sticks with Genesis.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I log
Yeah.
into Genesis and I click on there to get to IEP or to get progress report and the IEP and everything.
right, so some of what you're sharing is our bid, we're looking for a company that can do all of the things that meet our needs.
Right,
And if it happens that
Our
Frontline is
IEP,
it,
right.
great. If it's not,
right.
um,
And we're actually separating it out, between the HR pieces that Diane uses, the ed services pieces, and then the intervention piece, we're gonna, RFP separately.
Yep.
Because that'll come through curriculum.
Yep.
3 different RFPs.
yes.
And it's the hope that it would lower the costs. Is that what we're doing?
It could potentially, it's not it's just required because of the total amount of money that we're giving to one company. They have,
And it may not be it may not be the same company that
Right.
gets the bid for
Right.
all of these different pieces.
right.
Any other questions? All in favor say, oh, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Old business, I always combine old business, new business. Dates were set for some of the community roundtables. I'll let Carrie speak to that.
Thank you. There's a slip sheet also over on the table if anybody wants to add their name to it. We have set May 17th at 7 p.m. at West Freehold School for the in-person. And then we're going to do May 23rd, 12 p.m. for a virtual one via Zoom. I'm making the flyers. I'll get them made and sent to Neil and Diane tomorrow so that they can get sent out. We'll use Eventbrite to do the registration because we want to limit the sections. Well, we're not going to limit registration. We're going to then break down into smaller groups because we don't want to have too many people, and we want to be able to hear everyone.
Correct.
So we'll see how many people wind up registering. Then we'll break it down. We've reserved the gym, I don't know what you guys call it, the multi-purpose
Purpose
room and the library over at West Freehold. So we have enough space. We figured I talked to Kelly between parking and everything. We figured that would be the best place to do it.
Yeah, that makes most sense.
So
On the RSVP, will topics be suggested, presented, or is it a
So, basically what the goal is to receive feedback from the community on their concerns. We know the curriculum hasn't been written yet. I spoke to Michelle, we'll host another one in the summer after the curriculum's been written, but this is to meet with parents and community members beforehand. We'll take their concerns, we'll pass them over to Becky, and, we're gonna share the guidelines and everything like that. So once everybody registers and I have their email addresses, we can then email them a packet to, so that they have all the information beforehand. You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions on that or any additions to that? No? Okay. This would be then the second opportunity for public participation. So if anybody would like to address the board on any topic, please step to the podium, state your name, write your name and address on the sign-in sheet, state your name for the record. Comments would be limited to 3 minutes and shouldn't be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature. Seems like a pretty subdued crowd. Okay. Okay. Seeing no questions, we are going to make a motion to move into executive session. Second. Okay. Now, whereas pursuant to NJSA 10-412B, the Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting which the board discusses any of the matters described at NJSA 10-412B 1 through 9. Now therefore be it resolved that in accordance with the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act, the board shall conduct a closed session pursuant to the personnel and legal exceptions prescribed by NJSA 10-412 for the purposes of discussing pending or anticipated litigation discussion of claims against the BOE. It is anticipated the length of time of this executive session will be 20 minutes and action will not be taken in public following executive session. Be it further resolved that said discussion may be disclosed to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon it in closed session no longer exist. So we should be in closed session for about 20 minutes. Again, no public action will be taken afterward. We'll only be coming back into regular session to conclude the meeting. So for those of you that are not inclined to stay, I'd like to thank you for coming to the meeting tonight and joining us, and we hope to see you again at our next meeting. Thank you.
March, May 10th. I think. The next one.